How to remember who you are, despite the programming. What if everything you've ever believed about yourself was a lie? Not because you were wrong, but because you were trained to forget. Trained to become a version of yourself that could survive, not the one that came here to awaken. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's what Carl Jung said. And he wasn't talking about something abstract. He was talking about your life. Right now, if you've been feeling lost, stuck, empty, not because you lack motivation, but because something inside you keeps whispering, "This isn't me," then this video isn't just for you. This video is you. Because the real you has been buried under years of programming, layers of belief systems, expectations, survival patterns, emotional conditioning, a blueprint that was never yours, but you were taught to obey it like it was the truth. But here's the thing, you don't need to become anything. You don't need to fix yourself, because the part of you that's trying to heal might not even be the real you, and that changes everything. This isn't about becoming your best self. It's about remembering your true self, the one that existed before the world told you who to be, before the system installed its software into your mind, before your light was reshaped into something manageable. That's why this video exists. To help you remember, to feel what was always there but got covered by noise, to shake the roots of the false identity, gently but powerfully. In the next section, we'll go even deeper into this idea and reveal how your identity was never truly yours to begin with. We'll explore how your environment, your upbringing, even your biology, were shaped by things that had nothing to do with your essence. What you're about to hear might stir something ancient inside of you, not because it's new, but because it's been waiting. Let's begin. The invisible blueprint that wasn't yours. You didn't start with a name. You didn't start with a story, a trauma, or a title. You began as awareness, whole, untouched, infinite. But even before you took your first breath, something started to shape you, beliefs, fears, patterns that didn't belong to you, but were passed on like spiritual DNA. Generational frequencies, silent expectations, and emotional contracts whispered into your field before you even had a voice to say no. The world didn't wait for you to arrive. It prepared a script for you to play. And without realizing it, you learned to survive by becoming someone the world could accept. You became the responsible one, the strong one, the funny one, the smart one, the invisible one, the fixer, the pleaser, the one who never had needs, the one who always said yes. But what if the role you've been playing was never who you were? Let me explain. Bruce Lipton, in his research on epigenetics, showed that it's not your DNA that defines you. It's your environment. Your biology, your behavior, even your sense of self adapt to the energetic field around you. That means your identity wasn't chosen. It was inherited, absorbed, shaped. Imagine growing up in a house where silence meant safety, where joy was suspicious, where love had conditions. Over time, your body memorized these frequencies, not because they were true, but because they were familiar. And here's where it gets deeper. Your nervous system became loyal to that old script, even when you outgrew it. Even when your soul started whispering, "This isn't me anymore." But how do you walk away from a version of yourself that the world applauded? How do you stop being who everyone expects you to be, when you're not even sure who's under the mask? This is the silent grief no one talks about, the grief of losing an identity that never truly belonged to you, and yet you still mourn it, because for a long time it kept you safe. But safety isn't the same as freedom, and fitting in isn't the same as being seen. Let that settle in your body for a moment. Not in your mind, in your breath, your chest, your gut. pause for a moment. Feel what wants to rise, not the thoughts, the knowing underneath. And now we'll go even deeper into how this blueprint was not just personal, but systematic. You'll see that forgetting wasn't an accident. It was engineered, layer by layer, from the outside in. And maybe, just maybe, that's why remembering feels like rebellion. You were trained to forget, systematically. You weren't just taught who to be. You were taught who not to be, quietly, repeatedly, energetically. Every time you raised your voice and someone said, "Don't be so dramatic." Every time you cried and heard, "Stop being so sensitive." Every time you asked questions and were told, "Just believe." 1,000 small cuts until you bled into a shape that wasn't yours. You learned early that your truth was inconvenient, that your curiosity was disruptive, that your emotions were too loud, too messy, too much. This wasn't just social conditioning, it was spiritual engineering. Education didn't teach you how to think, it taught you how to comply. Religion didn't show you divinity, it handed you fear disguised as salvation. Media didn't inform you, it programmed you with patterns of urgency, lack, comparison and noise. And if that sounds harsh, let me take it further. There are real documents, declassified by the CIA, that expose government-backed mind control experiments, MK Ultra. Not a conspiracy theory, a historical fact. And while those programs might not operate the same way today, their echoes live on, in the way systems shape perception, dictate norms and mold identity. But you've felt it, haven't you? That ache in your chest when you say yes, and everything inside you screams no, that fog in your mind when you try to speak your truth, and the words won't come out. That hollow sensation after a moment of laughter that didn't feel real. Let me give you an example. Her name is Claire. She's 48, lives in a quiet suburb, married, 2 grown kids. From the outside, she's doing well, stable job, yoga on Wednesdays, Sunday lunches with her parents. But inside, she feels like a ghost. Every morning she stares into the mirror and wonders, when did I stop being someone? She remembers being 10, drawing in her notebook, dreaming about becoming a poet. But her dad said, that won't pay the bills. She remembers wanting to travel, live by the sea. But life came fast. College, marriage, babies, bills. She never broke the rules, but somewhere along the way, the rules broke her. Now, when she walks through her home, she sometimes pauses in the hallway. Not because she forgot where she's going, but because a part of her knows she forgot who she is, and she's not alone. So many people feel like Claire. Maybe you do too. Maybe there's a part of you that keeps waiting for permission to come alive again. But what if that permission was never going to come from the outside? What if the most powerful truth was hiding where you never thought to look? In the next section, we'll dive into the silent war between your ego and your soul, and why, when your soul starts waking up, everything you've built around your false self begins to tremble, the spiritual imposter syndrome. Something strange happens when your soul starts to wake up. It doesn't come with fireworks or enlightenment on demand. It begins quietly, a subtle discomfort with everything that used to feel normal. But instead of feeling free, you feel like a fraud. Instead of expansion, there's a tightness in your chest. Instead of clarity, there's a whisper. Who do you think you are? And that's when it hits, the spiritual imposter syndrome. You start meditating, reading, journaling, doing the inner work, but underneath it all, there's a fear that maybe you're not evolved enough, not healed enough, not enlightened enough. You compare your journey with others who seem to get it. You second-guess every intuitive hit, every shift, every emotion. And the truth is, this is part of the programming too. Because the ego, when threatened, doesn't disappear. It evolves, it puts on spiritual clothes, it starts talking about alignment and vibration, but it's still scared to death of the unknown. Joe Dispenza explains it this way: the body becomes addicted to familiar emotions, even if those emotions are fear, guilt, or self-doubt. So when your soul begins to rise, your biology resists. Your neurons fire patterns of old identity. Your muscles tighten in remembered shame. Your energy contracts into safety mode, and you mistake that contraction as a sign that you're not ready. But what if the opposite is true? What if the fact that you feel this inner chaos means you're exactly where you need to be? Because you're not just shedding old thoughts, you're deprogramming a system that spent years convincing you that obedience was love, silence was wisdom, and shrinking was virtue. You are not failing, you're feeling, and that changes everything. Now pause, let your shoulders drop, let your breath find you again. This discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the echo of a system losing its grip on your soul. Let's go deeper. We'll explore how your frequency, not your logic, is the doorway to remembering. We'll talk about how energy holds memory and how tuning into your soul's vibration can awaken truths your mind forgot long ago. The energy of remembering. Your frequency holds the key. You don't remember with thoughts. You remember with resonance. There's a language inside you that doesn't use words, and it uses energy. And that energy carries memory. Not the kind you learned, the kind you are. You felt it. In those moments when a place feels familiar, but you've never been there. When someone says something ordinary and your whole body reacts like it heard a prophecy. When you meet someone and, without knowing why, your chest expands or contracts. You don't think your way back to yourself. You vibrate your way there. Your soul is not waiting for you to figure it out. It's waiting for you to feel it again. So let's go there, not with logic, but with presence. Pause now. Close your eyes if it feels right. Bring one hand to your heart, the other to your belly. Let your breath slow down, deeper, softer. Feel the rhythm beneath your chest. Let it anchor you. Now ask yourself, not out loud, but inside your breath, what am I feeling right now that doesn't belong to me? Stay with it. Let the question float without chasing the answer. Maybe it's a sadness that's not yours, a fear that's older than your memories, a pressure to be someone you never agreed to become. You don't need to fix it right now. Just notice it. Witness it. Because witnessing is the beginning of remembering. The more you create space for your authentic frequency to rise, the more your soul begins to speak. Not in noise, but in alignment. Not in performance, but in peace. Thank you for making it to this point in the video. It means something inside you is stirring, something real. If this message touched something in you, tell us in the comments. Have you ever felt like you were carrying emotions that weren't yours? Stories, expectations, energy that never really fit? Your story might be the mirror someone else needs to feel less alone. And if you've felt the pull of this path, join us. Subscribe and become part of this community of remembrance. This is just the beginning. In the next section, we'll go even deeper into the traps of false light, how even spirituality can become a disguise, and what happens when the search for awakening becomes just another way to avoid the truth. The false light trap, when spirituality becomes a distraction. Not every light is truth. Some lights are mirrors, some are traps. And in today's world, where spirituality has become a hashtag, a lifestyle, a marketplace, it's easy to mistake the costume for the awakening. You start chasing crystal grids, angel numbers, moon rituals, but still feel disconnected when the ritual ends, still feel empty after the sound bath, still feel lost beneath the mantras, because performance doesn't create presence. And high vibration isn't a mask you wear, it's a truth you live. There's a reason you can sit in meditation for 20 minutes and still avoid yourself. There's a reason you can talk about surrender, flow, alignment, and still not be home. Here's the hidden danger. Spiritual language can become a defense mechanism. It lets the ego hide behind good vibes only. It uses intuition as an escape hatch from hard conversations. It quotes the universe, but avoids the shadow. And so, awakening becomes performance. Enlightenment becomes a new goal, still chasing, still seeking, still hiding. Edgar Cayce once said, "The soul records every experience, not the conscious mind," meaning your soul doesn't care about how many books you read. It remembers what you felt when you were raw. It remembers the truth behind your eyes when you stopped pretending. It remembers the moment you sat with your darkness without trying to fix it, because that's when real light begins, not the light you post, the one that grows in silence beneath the rubble of every mask you ever wore. Let me give you a visual. Imagine someone sitting in a bright white room, candles lit, mantras playing, crystals placed in perfect formation. But inside, they feel numb, because the ritual became the replacement for the real work. And the real work, it's messy, it's raw, it's quiet. It looks like sitting with your grief without rushing to transcend it. It looks like telling the truth, even when it shatters the identity you built. It looks like saying, "I don't know who I am anymore," and letting that be holy, because you don't need more light. You need to stop hiding from your own. In the next section, we'll uncover why remembering who you are is not just a personal journey, it's a radical act of power, and why systems of control, both seen and unseen, fear your authentic self more than anything else. Remembering is a radical act of power. The world doesn't fear rebels. It doesn't fear the loud, the angry, or the outraged. It fears the authentic, because someone who remembers who they are can't be manipulated. Someone who's grounded in truth doesn't obey fear. Someone who's vibrating in alignment doesn't collapse to shame. You see, the systems around us, societal, economic, spiritual, political, they don't just want compliance. They want predictability. They want you distracted, scrolling, buying, doubting. They want you focused on fixing the parts of yourself they convinced you were broken. But what if you're not broken? What if you're just buried under stories that were never yours? Buried under the pressure to be digestible, likable, efficient, buried under masks you outgrew long ago. And when you start peeling those layers, not to become someone better, but to return to someone real, that's when everything begins to shake. Because your true self is the most dangerous threat to the systems that seek to own you. Let that sink in. The version of you that doesn't need external validation. The version of you that trusts your body's no, your soul's yes. The version of you that remembers your worth is not earned, it's remembered. That version can't be sold, can't be bought, can't be silenced. That version is free. And that's what makes this path so powerful and so confronting. Because it's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming whole. And wholeness requires you to reclaim the parts you abandoned just to be accepted, the parts that cried too loud, the parts that felt too much. The parts that knew, even as a child, that something was off. You didn't lose yourself, you adapted, you survived, and now you're remembering. In the final section, we'll return to a truth you may have forgotten, a truth that lives not in your mind, but in the very rhythm of your soul. The remembering has already begun. You're not here by accident. The soul never forgot. You just stopped listening. There's a quiet place inside you that never stopped knowing, not once. Not even in your most disconnected moments, not even when you tried to become someone else, not even when you forgot how to feel. It was there, watching, waiting, whispering, and maybe you didn't hear it because the noise was louder, the noise of survival, the noise of shame, the noise of trying to earn love, worth, space. But that part of you, the part that remembers. It never left. It's in the way your heart beats faster when you speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. It's in the tears that come out of nowhere when you finally slow down. It's in the stillness that calls to you when the world gets too loud. You don't need to build that part of you. You just need to meet it again. And the truth is, it's already happening. Because if you've made it this far in the video, it's not because of what I said. It's because something inside you already knew. This isn't new information. It's an ancient remembering. And if this message awakened something in you, don't keep it in silence. Let it echo. Tell us in the comments what moved inside you, what piece of yourself rose to the surface, what you remembered, even if you don't have words for it yet. Thank you for being here, for walking this path with us, for showing up for yourself, gently, bravely, fully. If you felt this resonance, subscribe and join our community. This is not the end. It's just the next step in your return. And there's so much more waiting for you. Watch the next video we've selected for you, a deeper layer of remembrance waiting just beyond the veil. More truth, more presence, more of who you've always been. You are not at the mercy of the external world. You are the field that transforms what vibrates around you. You were never lost. You were only made to forget. And now, you're remembering.